What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy round review. Round 21 is done. We've got only 3 weeks to go, so we're getting to the real pointy in the season. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of people's league finals this week. I think we're entering, is it semi-final week for a lot of leagues? So hopefully you guys got through to your prelims or you won your elimination finals and you guys can push through. I'm in a cash league. I won my qualifying final, beat top, which was very nice. And I'm through to the prelim, which is good. It's cash league. Looking forward to hopefully getting some cash there. But as you can see, we're back in normal setup with the camera and the proper mic and everything, which is great. So let's get stuck into everything. Let's get into the round that was. My score on +3s, -3s, all that good stuff. But before we do, make sure you do leave a like on the video. Make sure... it really does help the channel out if you leave a like. So if you're enjoying the content this season, leave a like. If we can get 50 likes in this video, that'd be fantastic. That's the goal. We didn't quite get 100 on the last one. I think it was the most we've had in a video. I think it was up 75 or 74 or something. So if we can maybe even beat that, that'd be fantastic. But support's always appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bottom right hand corner. We're on 1255 subscribers, 45 away from 1,300. We've got 3 weeks to hit the 1,300 mark. If you haven't got involved, make sure you do. So, 24-21. So, that, I believe, is... How many weeks in a row now? I've got it. So, I think it's around 16. So, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row of 2,400 plus, which is fantastic. So, round rank of 4924, so probably the worst one for a few weeks. We've had a couple of really strong weeks in a row, but not too bad. Top 5k, we moved up 124 spots up to 2,582. A couple of things I probably should have looked at more. Maybe I left about 100 points on the table. I could have got a 2,500 this week and really sort of pushed towards that top 2,000, but you can't get everything right, and we have got most things right last few weeks. So this was the first week we sort of had a couple of things not go away, but that's fine. In terms of +3, -3, +3's got to go to James Sicily. 160 points. He was fantastic against Collingwood at the G. He's got a great run coming home as well. So looking forward to hopefully some more big monster scores from the sick dog. Bont also a bit of a shout out, but I didn't get to enjoy that as much. I was on the pod last night with Jake. We were watching that game together. His dog's up against the Tigers, and I didn't have him VC, and he got 151, and a lot of people did have him VC. So, but at least Merritt got the job done on the Saturday. -3, it's got to go to Jack Steele, 59 points. That's just, he really hasn't done it for me this year, unfortunately. I brought him, as everyone knows, I brought him in after he got the big 128 against Port Adelaide here. He then goes and does this patch from round 8 to round 16, where he only got the 2 tons for me. And then he had that good month from round 17 to round 20, where he put those couple of monster scores and some solid scores, but then sort of almost back to what he was doing beforehand. It was strange. He played high game time back-to-back weeks here, and then back down to 75%. He had the tackles, which is great. He just didn't get the touches. Only 11 disposals. So it's disappointing. I'm probably not going to trade him out just because he got Richmond this week, but Geelong and Brisbane the final 2. If he doesn't sort of do anything this week, he's definitely a guy that could go after this week. So it's a bit of a concern, but I'm hoping that he'll be fine. But yeah, a couple of disappointing players which we'll get into. So let's get through the players. So Jordan Dawson, 98. Was a bit quiet, actually. Didn't notice him too much, but still got to his 98. He's been fantastic this year. He's still gone and averaged 116 with 3 games to go. He's had a couple of games under 100 in his last few, when he only went once between rounds 4 and 18. So a little bit down. Then there's nothing too bad with 97, 98. I'm not complaining. I'm just sort of nitpicking in a way. I'm sure he'll respond this week. I think he'll be back over 100 against Brisbane. But yeah, not quite the score people were hoping for, because a few people might have got him VC or even a captain. So not the score they want. Nick Dacos obviously is the big talking point this week. He'll be obviously talked about on all the pods this week, sort of going, where do we go? Because he's obviously so highly owned. Hopefully you guys have got a sort of a defender in your mids, or you've got a like a Sheezer in your forward line who you can swing it back and you can maybe bring in a midfielder somehow. But then again, I guess defence is also not a bad shopping time for shopping in defence and mid as well. It's just the forward line. You probably don't want to be trading in a forward. So probably saying about Shees, if he's in your forward line, you don't want to be swapping him there unless you've got a forward in your mids, because there's not really too many forwards you want to be picking up. But Dacos got to go. He got tagged. Again, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I should have traded him over Mills, but again, I never would have done that. So I don't even know why I mentioned it really, because it wouldn't have happened anyway. But yeah, he got tagged. He got tagged out of the game, and then obviously got that knock on the knee, and it's a hairline fracture. Be out for 6 weeks. It's going to be bad for Collingwood, actually. It'll be interesting to see how they go. And Brownlow night is another twist on the Brownlow night. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. I still hope Jordan Dawson gets the job done. I think it'll be Bont now. I think he'll be able to catch up those votes in the last few games, and I think Dacos will unfortunately just fall short. But it'll be very interesting to see. You got Petrarca there as well, Butters, and as I mentioned, Dawson. It's going to be very interesting. Can't wait for that, actually. But yeah, he'll have to go. Sicily, as we mentioned before, huge game of 160. He's now averaging 107.6 for the year, which is crazy. And his run for the last three, Bulldogs give up obviously a lot of points to defenders, and then Melbourne give up points to defenders as well. So could be some good games. And Freo at the G is actually not a bad matchup there. So I think he'll finish off the season quite well and put up some big scores. He's going to be very expensive to start next year, but he's been fantastic this year when he's played, besides those couple of suspensions. Jack Sinclair had a good first half. I think he was on about 51 or 52, and he only had about 30-odd points second half. Only ended up on 83. Carlton a difficult matchup, so I'm not too fussed. He'll be fine, and he's been good. Obviously, he's averaging under 100 now, but look at this. So I brought him in, I think it was round 13, against Sydney, or did I wait a week for the Richmond game? I think I brought him in Richmond, actually. So he's only gone 2 times under 100 since then. So he's been very consistent. He had a bit of a sort of slow start to the year, but as the year's gone on, he's just getting the job done. So he's fine. He'll be good for the last few weeks. Richmond this week, good matchup. I think I had a look. All the players this week that I'll have in my side will all have pretty good matchups. Tom Stewart, 94, saved his score. He was on long day. Getting towards the end of the day here. Tom Stewart, 22 at half time, ended up getting to a 94. So he's one of those players you just can't really worry about until the final siren goes. He just finds a way to get his scores. So 94 in a tough matchup, and he's got some pretty nice matchups to come. Collingwood, St Kilda and Bulldogs. He could go massive in these last 3 weeks. So if you don't have him, I'd look at targeting him. And if you've got him, you're not trading him out now. You'd be keeping him for the rest of the year. Will Day 106, very happy with that score there. I was thinking about maybe trading him out this week. With Dacos obviously out, it's a little bit harder, but still could have gone. But I'm not going to trade him out now. 106, he's got Bulldogs and then Melbourne. It's a couple of good games in a row there. Finishes off with Freo, so maybe trade him. But then again, he could just stay there. There's nothing wrong with Will Day sitting there, averaging 96. Had that bit of a patch after he came back from suspension, where from round 7 to really sort of round 17, he sort of only had a couple of hundreds there. But it's really been last month. He had that one score of 80 against Richmond, but every other game's gone over 100, which is great. So 3 of his last 4 have been hundreds. You're not trying to goal like that out, I don't think. So I'll be holding him, and he was very good against Collingwood. Mullen obviously didn't play there. And James Borlase, very, very impressive on debut with a 19. As a Crows fan, looked really good. Big boy. I think he'd be a good defender for us after one game. We'll see how he goes for a few games. But he looked good, looked promising, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't get the Rising Star Award this week. 18 disposals, 100% efficiency. Surely he gets the Rising Star Award, but we'll have to see. He is under the age limit, is he? Yeah, 21. Yeah, he is. So I would imagine he'll get the Rising Star Award. Marcus Bontempelli was huge on Friday, as I mentioned. Wasn't able to enjoy as much as what I have been able to enjoy Bont throughout the year, but I'll take the 151. He's been absolutely huge this year, averaging 116. I think he overtook Jordan Dawson in terms of total points. So I think he is leading for the most points of any player behind Tim English, I believe. I think it goes English, Bont, and then Dawson. So I'm just actually having a look at my phone. Yeah, English, Taranto is 3 points ahead of Bont. And then you got Dawson is there. So they're the 4 players that have scored over 2,300. So they've all been huge. And then Marshall and Goulden not too far behind. So, yeah, he's been fantastic. And I've been probably my best starting pick for the year. Zach Merritt was very good once again, 128. So I've obviously complained about Merritt in the past, but I've had him for 3 weeks. He got the 88 on debut, which wasn't great. Bulldogs tough matchup. He's gone 140, 128 in his last couple. He's got North Melbourne this week, who he dominates against in recent history. What did he get against him? 155, and he got a 170 odd last year. So he'll be mine and a lot of people's VCs this week. So does he get attention because of what he's done to North Melbourne in the past? But he'll be my VC anyway, and he was fantastic once again. I didn't get to watch him, so I haven't been able to watch him actually get a huge score for me. The only game I watched him was the 88 or whatever he got. So hopefully he'll go better when watching him this week. Sam Doherty 112 was pretty good playing the midfield. So he's sort of been a bit of a yo-yo last month. Sort of just on like ton, under ton, or sub-ton, ton, sub-ton, ton. So at least when he goes tons, though, he's gone over 112 in all of his tons. It's just been those 80s in between. But he's been fantastic. And who's he got? Yeah, Melbourne this week, then Gold Coast. So pretty good next couple for Doherty. So if you don't have him, he's still a great target there. Good game from him. Jack Steele mentioned before, that wasn't a great score. It was pretty putrid, to be honest. Hopefully responds. Andrew Brayshaw, 106, getting the job done again. Brisbane, not the easy... Oh, but then, actually, Brisbane gave up some points. So he's hasn't been underwhelming because he's only had the 2 scores under 100 since the bye when I brought him in. But he hasn't gone huge. He's gone a couple of 120s, but there hasn't been any of those 130s or 140s that we're accustomed to seeing from a guy like Brayshaw. So hopefully West Coast this week's a pretty good matchup. Doesn't have a great history against them, but hopefully he can put up a good score. Then he's got Hawthorn the final week. Does he cop a tag maybe in that game? I'm not sure. But hopefully get some good scores there. Port at Optus as well. Port's restricted, but being at Optus, it's not too bad. So hopefully Brayshaw can finish strong. Bad Crouch, 133 and 126 this week. So 2 good scores in a row. I was looking at trading him out. I don't think I can now after those 2 scores. Richmond this week, I'm definitely keeping him. It's pretty. Only got a 109 against Richmond last time, but he only played 69%. So he'll play more than that this week and hopefully puts up a good score and we'll see how we go. But he could be one I might trade it after this week if he has a lower score. Darcy Parish on debut, 113. Happy enough with that. I was hoping for a 120, but again, can't be too greedy. 113 I'll definitely take there. And hopefully we'll go well again this week against North Melbourne. LDU, 82. Could have been 100. Gave away, I think it was 3 free kicks in the end. Yeah, so he doesn't... lately he's been giving free kicks away, but I might all be accustomed to LDU giving away free kicks, but he's given away a few this year. So I know one of them was a tackle. I thought it was on the ball personally. So he'll be fine. He's got some pretty good matchups to finish. Essendon, Richmond, Gold Coast. So I think he'll be fine. And I still don't mind him as a target at 868k if you can't get up. But there are some other good options there. Chesser got a 40 there as well on the bench. Just good for some cover at the moment. Drury not playing. Marshall 116. Just, again, continues to dominate week after week. Look at that. Like, just some of the scores he's quite ridiculous. Only 1 score below 100 since round 11, and that was a 99. So he's only gone under 90 on 2 occasions, and though 2 of them were in the first 8 weeks. So he's just been huge. And one of them was obviously injury affected there as well. Tim English, again, just going big once again. Back-to-back scores over 130. So that's the first time actually in a while he's gone back-to-back tons. The first time since round 6 he's gone back-to-back tons. I know the bye was there, but if you want to go sort of 2 weeks in a row, first time he's done that in a while. And 3 of his last 4 have gone over 130. So he's just got as good a ceiling as ever. He's been fantastic this year, averaging near 120. Vicentini, 55, good cover as well. He'll be good cover for sort of ruck and forward. Having Max Heath to sort of loot is really handy, and I think he'll be the ruck for the rest of the year for Port Adelaide. Errol Gordon, 132. Again, I said on the pod last night, 112.6. Sorry, 112.6 he's averaged this year. None of us would have predicted that. He's only gone once under 126 since round 15. He's just such a good footballer. He's so good to watch. Such a good fantasy player, and I'll enjoy him for the last few weeks because he won't be a forward next year. But then again, averaging 112, is he going to be an option for us as a pure mid next year? That's definitely something to look at. Josh Dunkley, poor score here with an 81. Freo can be a tough matchup. Didn't play, he got stuck on the bench a couple of times for over 8 minutes, so I think he would have played more. Maybe that pushed up to a 90, 95, maybe even 100. He'll be fine. He'll respond after that. Not the best score, but that's his first sort of poor score, removing that injured game for a fair while, since round 9, first bad score there. Connor Rosie, 11 tons in a row. Him and Soron have got the most tons, that have got longest ton streak of 11. So 109, just knows how to get it done week in, week out. Giants, tougher matchup this week, but I think he'll be fine anyway. And yeah, again, another one of those forwards that's not going to be a forward next year. He'll be just a pure mid. Tim Taranto, 99. Not too bad. He's had some tough matchups. I know Mini Monk was saying it last night that he's gone under 100 a few times in his last sort of 4 or 5 games, but a few of them have been tough matchups and not the MCG. He's got the Saints this week. Hopper's out. I think he's prime for a big game this week. So I'm definitely going to be looking at him in my captain and vice captain sort of discussions there. And I think he'll respond with a pretty big game. Cogs, 90. Not too bad. I didn't notice him too much in that game, but sort of good for him to still get a 90 anyway. And I'm still just happy he's in the side, and he's one of those top 5 forwards there, or top 6. Max Heath was good as captain this week to take Merritt's VC score. Darcy Cameron got an 80. Not too bad. Reeves is a pretty tough ruck. I know Mason Cox wasn't in the side, so I was hoping for him, even in a tough matchup, to go 90 plus again, but I'll take an 80. He's got Geelong this week. Pretty easy matchup. Does Mason Cox come back into the side? And with a few injuries to Collingwood, and he played pretty well in the VF. I think he had about 40-odd hit-outs and he got a 120, so he might come back in. But he may go for me this week. He is in my trade plans potentially. Kyle Oman obviously didn't play, and Cooper Harvey didn't play as well. So a few red dots on the bench. At least I've got some cover on each line, and I should have that moving forward. So in terms of my early trade thoughts, I'm just looking at, obviously, Dacos has got to go. The good thing about having Dockney in my mids is I can bring in a mid. I can get my boy back, Rory Laird. He'll be coming in for me at this stage, and I'm going Darcy Cameron to Luke Jackson with Bailey Williams suspended this week for West Coast. Luke Jackson will be against, I don't even know, will it be like a Harry Barnett or something like that? I don't even know. Like Jack Williams got subbed out. Is it Jack Williams, their main ruck? I'm not actually sure. So he's got a very good matchup there, and then he's also got Port Adelaide at Optus as well, and Vicentini's their ruck. So Jackson again. 2 great matchups in a row. I'm going to try and capitalise on that and bring him in. I think he's a good target. The other thing I've looked at, I'm 10k short of going Laird and this other trade I'm going to mention, but if I do go Dacos to Sarong, who's got West Coast, which that's something I could consider trying to capitalise on that matchup, and Laird's got Brisbane in Brisbane, so maybe not guaranteed to go huge. I could actually go Chesser to Zeeble, so I'd be able to loop between Darcy Cameron, Zeeble and Will Day, and I'd be able to get sort of 2 of the best 3 scores out of those guys, because Cameron plays Friday night, Zeeble plays first game Saturday, and Will Day plays later in the round, so on the Sunday. So I'm considering that. That's something I'll do, but maybe my love for Laird's probably going to sway me in that direction with Jackson, just because Jackson's got such a good matchup. So yeah, they're the sort of trade thoughts. I'll be doing one of those 2 this week. I can't see me changing off course unless there's carnage and I'm trading another premium online or something like that. So, but let me know in the comments below how you guys went in round 21. Let me know your +3s, your -3s, where you guys ranked as well. I'd be interested to see where you guys are ranked with 3 weeks to go. What's your goals for the end of the year as well? And what are your early trade questions? Let me know in the comments below. I'll get to those when I can. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you do leave a like. Helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Bottom right hand corner, 1,300 subscribers is the goal before the end of the season. We've got 3 weeks to go. Can we hit that? That'd be very much appreciated if you could help me hit that goal. Turn notifications on so you miss when I go live or upload any other content. And also my social media links are in the description below. So go and follow me across all of those and start to date with all my content and everything going on. We'll be back on Wednesday for the usual trade talk video. So make sure you tune in to that as well. So have a good couple of days, guys. It's late, getting all my words mixed up. Anyway, have a good couple of days, and I'll catch you guys on trade talk on Wednesday. So I'm out, guys. Have a good couple of days. I'll catch you then. Cheers.